With the weather and the conditions and the way that Australia played, it was never going to be a particularly glamorous game of rugby. But I thought we stuck to our game plan really well, and I thought the firepower that some of our forwards off the bench brought really made a massive difference. I thought it was a proper good sort of English performance. I thought we ground them down really well, and then took our opportunities when we got in their 22. A big part of it is for us just continuing to do the right thing, whether that be, at the weekend it was running, and at the weekend it was kicking because of the conditions and things like that. But when it's on to run, we want to be super accurate and score tries. So we're always just working little by little, and there's a completely different challenge coming at Fiji this weekend. So we've been mainly just looking forward to that. Yeah, we're expecting some freak athletes. They've got some crazy powerful guys that can do some pretty special things, whether that's offload or footwork or run over you if they want to as well. So we need to be really on it with our defence this weekend and try and shut down their attack. And so we've been preparing for that a lot. But that being said, there's some things with our attack that we feel if we get it right, we can exploit them. So just fine tuning a few bits there as well.
Why do you think Fiji is such a tricky team to play? Is it kind of unpredictability? Or?
Yeah, I'd say they're just such an anomaly. I think a lot of the teams in World Rugby play a similar style, and you almost can sort of put your finger on what they're exactly going to do. Whereas Fiji, they're so different to how everyone else plays that they're pulling rabbits out of hats. I feel like sometimes they might not even know what they want to do. They just go off the cuff, and everyone just sort of reacts. So it's a real. As much as a physical battle because they've got some massive boys, it's a mental battle because you've got to try and stay engaged for 80 minutes. They're going to run from anywhere and do stuff that you're probably not expecting. So fully concentrating for the whole game is a huge thing.
Brilliant. And obviously 9, 10, 12, all Northampton boys. How important is that to have that consistency between the three of you?
Yeah, it's great. And, we talk a lot about the game at the club, and then obviously when we come in here, and I think... I like to think I know Mitch and Dingers' game inside out. I know what they want from me and what they are going to do most likely a lot of the time. And I think when you know what the people around you want and what they can do, it makes my job a lot easier as well. I think it's been a massive thing. I think we've trained well, working on some of those combinations this week, and hopefully it will get us to on the weekend.
Yeah, a few positional changes with Tommy going back to 14. Few others. It kind of seems like Steve's building a group of players that can play in multiple positions. Do you think that's kind of a fair assessment? Do you think that gives you an advantage that so many players can play in different positions? Yeah,
and I think particularly backs being able to do that is really important. Like I said, we've got a bit of an embarrassment of riches up front, especially in the back row around the quality of players that we've got there, and you want to fit as many of those guys into the squad. So I think for us backs, being able to be versatile so that we can load up all our bench with all that firepower is a really important thing. He's always challenging us to be adaptable and be prepared for any changes that might come. We're all happy with it, and learn all the different jobs we might have to do at the weekend.
And just finally talking about George Ford and Marcus Smith all competing for that number 10 shirt. Can you just touch on the kind of chemistry that you have on the pitch and off the pitch, and whether you feel that having that competition has really driven your game at 10?
Yeah, I think it's first and foremost the competition's great. I'd say we all have slightly different strengths and view the game slightly differently, but we all understand that for us to play well, we need the team to be set up in a certain way. So we're all, really driven by making the team around us play the best style we can and encouraging them to do what we would like so that we can shine. So that's one thing. And then, like you say, the competition and stuff like that has been great for me. With those two guys ripping it up, George has been ridiculous in the Prem for the last however long, and Marcus was, he was wearing the 10 jersey this time last year and probably was our best player that series, I thought. So, I'm a guy that works hard naturally and wants to keep getting better and better. But if there ever was, a little bit of motivation I'd need is, see some of the highlights from the Prem games on Saturday and see how well those guys have been playing. And that just gives me a little reminder that I need to go and work hard and put my best foot forward always. Because, ultimately I want to be the one that wears the 10 shirt every weekend. But to do that, I've got to play really well.